In a recent interview with The Mirror, Dillian Whyte has once again accused Anthony Joshua of having a TUE, which stands for a therapeutic usage exemption. He says that many boxers are quote unquote legally cheating by using these, by having these TUEs, and that fans would be shocked to discover exactly how widespread it is. He also suggests that this is the reason Jarrell Miller ended up taking PEDs, because Miller was frightened about the fact that AJ may have an unfair advantage with the TUE, and therefore he wanted to level the playing field. He also says that's why Miller made a big deal of AJ being on TUEs, to kind of preempt the discovery of himself being on PEDs. So make of that what you will. Now, to my knowledge, Anthony Joshua has never denied having a TUE, a therapeutic usage exemption. Jarrell Miller claimed that AJ's TUE is for testosterone. Now, I don't know whether AJ is or has a TUE or not. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, okay? At the moment, it's just allegations. But let's just entertain the possibility, theoretically, that he does have a TUE for testosterone. Should he be allowed that? Given the fact that he's a young guy, you would imagine he has a high testosterone level. How on earth could he be given a therapeutic usage exemption to either, and I'm not sure how the testosterone would be administered. I imagine it would be injectable. How on earth could someone like that be allowed to take extra testosterone? What if a fighter, after doing, let's say, 6 weeks of intensive cardio, twice or 3 times a day, after one of those sessions goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, I've got low testosterone." Well, if you do extensive cardio over a prolonged period of time, your testosterone levels can and often do drop for a certain period of time before they rise back up again. I've experienced this myself in the past when I've done prolonged, intense cardio for a number of weeks. You can get to a stage where your testosterone levels actually start to dip. And if you go to the doctor during that time and don't tell him about how intense the training is, the doctor might say, "Okay, yeah, your testosterone's low. We better put you on hormone replacement therapy." That might be a way to trick a doctor into giving you permission, prescribing you hormone replacement therapy. I mean, Lamont Peterson, for example, he had some kind of TUE or prescription, whatever it was, for testosterone several years ago. And who gets to decide which fighters are allowed to use testosterone, for example, and which fighters aren't? There are lots of questions here which need to be answered. And I'll be honest, I'm disturbed by the possibility that somebody like Anthony Joshua may be getting testosterone injections. That's what's being alleged here. Yeah, I'm disturbed by that possibility because I do think that that's an unfair advantage. And I have to imagine that that's something he doesn't need. Again, I don't know whether or not he's taking it, but I have to imagine that's something he doesn't really need. During the course of a training camp, when you're training extremely intensely, there are going to be times, days, maybe even weeks where your testosterone level might drop below a healthy level, a normal level. But that's because you're training so intensely. That's because you are training far more often and far more intensely than the average human being would. Even an average healthy human wouldn't train that intensely. That's just part of the game. That doesn't mean you should be allowed to take substances, whether they're, prescribed by the doctor and allowed by the board or not. From a moral point of view, I don't think that should be allowed. Some people naturally have higher testosterone levels than others. Some people naturally have a greater resistance when it comes to their testosterone levels dropping than others do. Some guys might do the exact same training and their testosterone level never really drops that much. But other guys, it may drop massively. But that's just the luck of the draw. That's just how you are genetically. You know, if you were a guy who was maybe naturally very overweight, there might be an argument that I would entertain whereby you're given a TUE for testosterone. Maybe in an instance like that. But if you see Anthony Joshua prior to him starting boxing, if you've seen the old school pictures of him, he wasn't overweight. He was a lot thinner than he is today, didn't have all that muscle mass, but he certainly didn't look, at least superficially, like someone who would need extra testosterone pumped into their body. You know? So make of it what you will. Again, I don't know whether AJ is or whether he isn't, but I do find the fact that he's never publicly denied having a TUE for testosterone or any other substance, I do find that interesting. And if he is, I find it disturbing. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think that should be allowed, certainly not in most circumstances and instances. And if Dillian Whyte is right about it being as prevalent as he claims, even more disturbing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening out. And, well, of course, people are going to bring up the fact that Dillian Whyte tested positive for a banned substance many years ago, which people bring up over and over again. But the reality is he took an over-the-counter supplement. He didn't have something injected into his body. He took an over-the-counter supplement about a week or two out after it was banned. And this was a supplement you could readily buy over the counter at many different high street stores. You know, it's not like he was going some back alley and getting something from some dodgy guy. No, he got something you can buy over the counter. And he didn't realize, this was when Dillian Whyte was still fighting on small hall shows. He didn't have a big team around him. And he was a young guy. He was just taking this over the counter supplement. And the last time he fought, you know, prior to getting his ban, that supplement was legal. But then, as I say, I think it was, he got caught taking it 2 weeks after the ban or something like that. Over the counter. So to me, that is very different than someone like a Jarrell Miller. Very different. Or even a Povetkin. Povetkin was caught taking something which, is it some kind of blood pressure medication or something like that, which has been shown to be effective as a PED. That's something which you would not be taking as some kind of training supplement normally. It's not something you can just buy over the counter in a fitness store. That's something, as far as I'm concerned, illicit, right? To be taking that. And of course, what Jarrell Miller was taking, stuff like EPO and all this other business, come on. That is actual juicing. Whereas in some instances, people like Dillian Whyte are caught out in an unfortunate kind of way. That's what I would say, you know. But of course, there are loopholes. There are instances where guys are taking things which they have plausible deniability for. For example, like Billy Joe Saunders, when he got caught with a nasal spray, he had plausible deniability. Well, you know, he had a bit of a cold. He was a bit bunged up, so he was taking this nasal spray. You know, with situations like that, he's not taking no blood pressure meds or anything. So you make of it what you will. But at the end of the day, as I say, there is a big difference between taking substances where there's plausible deniability and there's outright juicing. And Jarrell Miller was outright juicing. And if Anthony Joshua is on testosterone, to me, I think to label that legal juicing would be accurate. Just my take. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week. covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.